Hello fellow woodworkers and welcome to this week's edition of the Garage Workshop 10-minute tool review. This week we're going to be reviewing the DeWalt DXV38S wet and dry vac. Roll the intro. So fellow woodworkers, as you know, I have a few different solutions to dust extraction in the Garage Workshop, but the system that I've got set up with my mitre saw on my big shop-vac Hoover stroke dust extractor just really isn't working. I think the big chunky pipe, it doesn't connect very well into the mitre saw, and to be honest with you, I've noticed a lot more dust collecting and gathering in my mitre saw station since I've had that in place. Before, I just had a really cheap old Screwfix Titan Hoover basically in there, and that did a much bigger job. And I don't know if it's the fact that the pipe's now too big or the shop-vac isn't really designed for that, but it's really not a good solution. So I was looking at a different solution, not an expensive one, but one that I think would work better. And I came across this on a trip to Costco. So having done a little bit of initial research, it fitted what I think I wanted it to do. It was well within my cost range. It was $79.99. I'll put the equivalent dollar value on. I'm not sure if you can buy these in the US. If you are in the US, and you've seen them in Costco or Sam's Club or anything like that, just pop a comment in the comments and let me know. But this seemed to fit what I wanted it to do, so I bought it on the hope that I could switch it out for my tomato sauce station and make it a little bit more effective. Now, before I open it, just a couple of important things to mention. This is a wet and dry vac. I'm not going to use the wet feature of it unless I have a flood or I absolutely have to. It's a 38 litre unit and it's got a 1250 watt motor on it. All of those are above the specs of any of the other solutions that I've used for dust extraction before, so I'm hopeful that it will do a job. And again, it is a DeWalt product. Nearly every other product I've had for dust extraction has either been made by Titan or by Lidl or by Aldi, so it is the first time I've invested in a sort of DeWalt unit. So I'll be interested to see how it compares to the other units I've got, and more importantly, let's have a look at what's in the box and see what makes up that £79.99. So, as I said, it is the first time that I've had a more expensive brand product. I actually only, at this moment, own two things that are made by DeWalt. One of them is my drill, and that is amazing. And weirdly, the other thing I own by DeWalt is a little socket set, a little manual socket set which I got for Christmas. And again, really good quality. Now, I don't know what to expect in terms of what's in the box. As I said, I did a bit of online review, and all of the reviews I saw of it was very good. It says on the side that it's got the 2.1 metre hose included. I'm going to have a little bit of a discussion at the end about the hose for this product, because it might be something that affects your decision to buy it. It's got two extension wands, a floor nozzle, a round brush, a utility nozzle, a car nozzle, an accessory bag which we'll take a look at, and holder, a disposable dust bag. I know that you can buy replacement dust bags for this in lots and lots of different places. Unlike some of the other parts of this product, the dust bag seems to be a bit universal. I know you can buy them on Alibaba and Temu and places like that as well. A clean connect filter, an inflation kit, an adapter for hose and accessories which relate to another product, and another adapter to allow it to fit DeWalt power tools. Now, I should have said earlier, I said I only had two products. Have got a DeWalt sander, which I've not managed to find anything for the dust extraction, so I'll be interested to see if that does it. But let's break open the box and see what's inside. Now, when I went to buy this, I have actually seen the product. They had one out of the box in Costco, so I have already seen what it looks like. That's the first of the extension wands, they call them, and this is the little carry pouch. This actually, as you can see in the picture there, attaches to the back of the Hoover, and that allows you to put all the bits and bobs, you know, the nozzles, the head and everything in it. Nice idea. I'm not sure if I will have it attached though, depending on the size of the hole it's going in. Let's try and take the whole unit out. And the only other thing in the box is the other extension one. So we've got the extension one, we've got the instructions which are inside the bag. And again, if you need instructions for a dust extraction or Hoover, you may not be the correct person to be using it. Very simple, straightforward picture instructions. These are all really just telling you what the different parts are and how to clean and replace the filter. So not much in the instructions. As I said, you wouldn't expect that really. Let's take the unit off. And again, the cable, it's got a warning on it. Never operate it near flammable materials. And it's got a catch on the right hand side and the left hand side, and that is how you open the unit. Now, you'll probably notice straight away, if you've got a vac like this in your shop, that is a significant filter. And when I was doing my research on it, and I saw how big the filter was, I did think straight away, oh, you know, that's perfect for me. I've always tended to have smaller ones which got blocked really easily. The filter is very easy to remove. You just turn this notch at the bottom to lock it or unlock it, and then it slides straight off. And the whole filter and unit is quite substantial in size. Let's take that out and put it there. Also inside the box, inevitably, are the different attachments. That's 1, 2, 3. Now that one's quite interesting. This says Tool 2 vac. That one and that one are the connectors to work with other DeWalt tools, but I've got that locking system on my sander and I don't think either of those will work with it. We've then got the wheels. Look a bit puny, I'm not gonna lie. Perhaps I might be a bit judgmental, but they don't look great. And we've got some different nozzles as well. Another head. A brush, connecting brush, another wheel, the last wheel, some screws obviously to attach the wheels, and the DeWalt bag that goes inside it. As I said, I have seen these in other places. I've seen them on Temu, I think it was, or Alibaba, or wish on one of those, but you can buy these. I think you can actually buy them through Amazon as well. So you can buy these exact bags, and unlike a lot of these products, this one I think is universal. This one, it's the DXVA19-4201, and I think that bag fits a number of other DeWalt products. Now, at the end of the video, I will just do a little bit of a walkthrough, because there is one thing about this shop-vac which I've discovered already, which might put you off buying it. So hang around until the end of the video and I'll discuss the pros and cons of whether that's right for you. And of course, last but not least, a DeWalt hose. Now, this hose allegedly is 2.1 meters long. It's quite a significant hose, and unlike a lot of the other hoses I've had on my products, it does actually feel quite meaty. It's obviously it's on brand in DeWalt colours, but it does feel quite sort of meaty and chunky. It's not going to be one of the other flimsy hoses, and I think all of the connectors connect straight on it. I don't think you actually have to substitute the end. All of the connectors just go straight on to the unit. So let's have a little bit of a look at this more in depth, and I'll give you a few more of the specs about this particular machine. So as I said, it is the DeWalt DXV38S.
It's got a stainless steel body, and it's got a built-in blower as well, which I'll talk a bit more about in a minute. It's got a 3.5 meter power hose, and it has a built-in storage bag, which you'll see on the back. It's got a 48mm 2.1 meter durable hose. As I mentioned, it is an exclusive product to Costco. I have seen them on eBay and other places, but the actual product is an exclusive Costco product. But you can pick them up on eBay for about the same amount of money.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is turn the unit on. I will say I have just checked and it won't fit where I'd planned it to go, which isn't the end of the world, because I'm actually about to redo my unit that's next to my mitre saw, and to be honest, I would rather it went in there anyway. So when I build that unit, I will just leave enough room to fit it in. It is a nice unit. It is quite bulky, so I am going to attach the feet so I can use it. But I've measured the distance. It's 10 centimetres from the bottom of the unit to my phone, and I'm just going to check the sound, the decibel level now when we turn it on. Okay, so the ambient sort of sound in the garage is about between 38 and 40 decibels normally. Before I started that test, it was just tipping 39. With the unit on, running for a few seconds, it got to 84 decibels, which again, perhaps is a little bit louder than you would want it to be without wearing ear defenders. But most of the time when I'm going to be using it, it's going to be when I'm cutting stuff anyway. So I will be using ear defenders. So not very loud, not as loud as I thought it was going to be. And obviously it feels quite a big unit, a big motor that's inside it, whereas my other ones have been a lot smaller and a lot narrower, and you sort of haven't had the feeling that they've really got the guts to hoover what needs to be hoovered. So we are going to give it a test. I've got a pile, believe it or not, I was so organised. I've got a pile of wood sawdust left over from my last project, which I've just been sweeping into a pile. So we're going to test it out on that, see how effectively it picks it up. It's a mixture. It's got lots of bits of wood, flecks of wood and things in it. We're going to see how quickly it picks it up, and we're also going to see if it struggles with any of the pieces in the wood. So let's do that now. Okay, so as you can see, this is my pile of sawdust. I'm just going to start a stopwatch. I'll try and put one on the screen if I can work it out, and let's see how long it takes to get through this big pile of woodwork dust. Okay, so from the test, and that was quite a big pile, as you saw, it took 1 minute and 41 seconds to hoover up that part. And I have to say, the power coming from the head was incredible. I could see it sucking the dust from quite a long way away. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can hook it up to my mitre saw, and we'll make a cut and see how it works there. So maybe a bit more difficult for you to see, but my finger is on the bottom of the unit. So that whole big pile took up, I'm going to say that's probably about maybe 15, 16 litres of the capacity. But it's taken it all really, really nicely. And again, as I said, the filter was pretty good, so impressed with that. Okay, so a couple of things to note here that are quite important. I'm going to test it on this piece of timber that I've got. If you watch my last video on my rotating cart, I'll put a link in the description. These were some of the pieces, offcuts of the stud work timber that I use to make the cart. So they are, you know, traditional wood that you would use, studwood wood. Not massively hard, but hard enough to give it a test. But connecting it has been a bit of an issue. So none of the connectors that I have got straight away fitted in the tube. So the original, that's the original pipe that comes from the wet and dry vac. Then I've got the connector, which is the connector that it says attaches it to the DeWalt tools, and I've had to put that inside my rubber connector that I use to connect my Evolution power source. So that is not ideal. Now, I have had a look around. None of the adapters that I've got by default will fit that and will fit this, but to be fair, the Evolution is quite awkward in terms of getting adapters to fit. The ones that come with Evolution fit perfectly in terms of this end, but they don't always fit in terms of other manufactured vacs. And I know that my Evolution shop vac, again, I'll put a link in the description. I did a 10-minute tour review of that. Again, the Evolution one I've got there is quite awkward when it comes to fitting other things. So you've either got to buy a sort of universal adapter like this or print your own. You can print them on a 3D printer. So I have got it linked up. As you can see, it has got a straight through from the vac all the way through. So let's hook it together and let's switch it on and just have a look and see how it collects the dust from my mitre saw, with everything being hopeful that it will all work. So let's switch it on now. I'll just put it on. So, as you just saw, hopefully, it did take all of the sawdust out of my hand. Just one thing I would say, now that the unit is here, it does feel a lot louder than it did when I had it out during the test. So I'm going to put my ear defenders on and let's make that cut. So hopefully you can see there is some sawdust there, but nowhere near as much sawdust as I would normally get from making cuts. If I made a cut normally with my ship hat, this would all have sawdust at the back, and there is some, but not much at all. So I am impressed with that, definitely. I think that it is what I wanted it for. And so far, that's looking like it's going to massively improve my dust collection. So firstly, I had a very specific thing in mind when I bought this wet and dry vac. It's not going to be a general used here, there and everywhere. That's not what I bought it for. I bought it specifically to be able to feed my mitre saw. So that was my #1 goal. If you want a general all-purpose shop vac that you can just use for sucking things up off the floor and things like that, I'm sure you can find different options to this one, but I wanted something with a bit of guts in it, which is why I've gone for this model and its powerful motor. Now, I do have to say, the first massive pro for me is the power of the motor. It's incredibly powerful. It's much stronger than any of the other shop vacs that I've had, and as you will have seen hopefully from sucking the pile of dust up on the floor and from the use of the mitre saw, it's got some guts on it. I've never had a shop vac take sawdust off of my hands at the bottom there like it did with the blade. That is a massive pro. So that's the first one. The other thing I really like about it is the general all-round overall build quality. They do say that you get what you pay for when it comes to products like this. Even the plastic on it feels proper plastic. It's sort of textured, it's ridged, it's not cheap and nasty, and I get the feeling if I dropped it or knocked it over, which I'm going to do plenty of, it's not going to crack and shatter and smash like other shop vacs are. So it is a much better build quality. The metal on it is not flimsy. With my other one, certainly with the Titan one, which is a different price point, when I took the lid off, and sometimes getting the lid off and on, I could feel the metal flexing. Nothing like that with this unit. It's actually a couple of mils thick the metal that is on it. So they're a couple of really, really good pros. I love the little thing, the little pouch at the back to keep everything in. I think that's a really, really good idea from DeWalt to put that there. The only thing I don't like about it is it's got like a little hook that it goes over to stop it sliding backwards like that. And I've already hooked it over that hook twice and it's come back out. So you just basically unpop it. And it's really, really tight. It's tough to do it, which obviously you want it to be because it's a new unit. But I've already done this twice, so this is now the third time that I've put it over that little, there's a little notch there to stop it sliding by, and just from moving it around, it's come out. But I do like the pouch. It's really handy. I think it's going to probably collect a lot of dust, but it is really handy to have. And obviously, you know, being a 1250 watt motor, it is going to have a little bit of power, so you are going to get some sawdust that comes out here, there and everywhere. Like I said, it's a 38 litre or 10 gallon tub. The capacity, exactly what I expected it to be. Now, the other thing which I didn't mention, at the front, I'm not going to do it now because it's full of dust, it's got a little valve which you can open to get things out, tip things out. Also, you can attach the hose to the back, and it will then blow in the same way that it sucks. Now, a lot of modern shop vacs have that feature where you can plug in. My Titan, my cheap Titan ones, my £39 Titan ones that I used to use, had that as well. So you plug the hose in that side and it basically turns it into a blower as opposed to a hoover, which again, another nice feature. So some really, really good things. Again, the strength of the hose I like. It's nice and thick. It's not cheap and nasty. So a lot of good positives for this unit. But there are also some considerations which are not as good as you would want them to be. The first major one, which I've sort of dropped hints about all the way through, is about this actual product. Now, I did mention at the beginning that I bought this product at Costco, and even though it's made by DeWalt, it is a Costco exclusive product. Now, they do have vacs in their range that I think are very similar to this, but nothing quite like it. Now, I contacted DeWalt UK because the hose that I've got, I want to keep permanently attached to my mitre saw, but I also wanted to have the flexibility of just popping the hose on, putting another hose on so I could use it for other tools in the workshop. Now, having spent quite a long time having a back and forward with DeWalt, first time I contacted their customer service, I was told there was nothing they could do because it's a Costco exclusive product. Any spares have to go back to Costco. I then contacted them again and got somebody different. This was all through an online chatbot because I couldn't find a number to call them. When I spoke to the second person, they said, no, we do have the replacements. And he sent me to a website, a UK-based website, where I could purchase a replacement hose. Now, the replacement hose that I could purchase for this, it wasn't branded, so it wasn't yellow and black as this one is. The replacement hose was 1.8 meters long. This hose that comes with it by default is 2.1 meters long. So as you can already see, a foot, 30 centimeter difference straight off. When I clicked on the link to go to the website, I was astounded to find that the cost of a replacement hose for this DeWalt unit is £159.99p. I'll just say that again, £159.99p to get a replacement hose for this product. Bearing in mind, this product was £79.99. It is cheaper to buy two brand new wet and dry vacs than it is to purchase one replacement hose, which I think is ridiculous. I mulled on it for a few days and I got back in touch with DeWalt, a third different person on the customer chatbot, to just tell them that I thought that was ridiculous. The third person I spoke to gave the same story as the first one, that actually you cannot buy replacements, and if you need replacement parts, you've got to go through Costco. So I then contacted Costco. Yes, you know what I'm going to say now. They said that the product is supported by DeWalt, and any spares or replacements outside of the warranty or the guarantee. So, for example, if you accidentally catch the hose with your track saw or plunge saw or circular saw, anything outside of the warranty, anything that's your fault, you must go to DeWalt to get replacement parts. Problem is, of course, DeWalt are denying that you can buy parts. Now, when I went back and looked at the £150 odd one that the guy had said, it did say it was compatible with this model, but it also said it was compatible with a number of other DeWalt models. And I know for a fact from some other research I've done that a lot of these DeWalt products do have proprietary ends connectors on their hoses. So it's not like you can buy a hose from a different model and expect it to work. I did find a company, CPC, who do replacements DeWalt's, but again, they don't do this particular model because this particular model is a Costco only exclusive product. So do bear that in mind. So that is one of the major drawbacks of this, and obviously for me, hopefully I don't ever have that issue because it's going to stay with my mitre saw station, but you do need to bear that in mind. The second issue I have with this is the placement of the power lead. It is in the worst possible place, and even with the moving around and the shifting I've done to make this 10-minute tool review, it's got in the way so much it's driven me mad. It's too close to this unit, it gets caught up on this pouch that is attached on the back. I think this power cable would have been much better off seated somewhere else on the side or on the front, you know, a lot of different places it could have been. Not really impressed with that at all. I also, although it says it's 2 meters, I do not believe that this cable is long enough for a Hoover like this. Now, as I've said all the way through this video, I've always had cheap vacs, shop vacs, mostly Titan ones. They come with a much longer power cable than this. I just do not think it is long enough. So for me, that is a major drawback. But having said that, once it's in place, as long as the power lead is long enough for what I want it to do, then I don't mind. But if you're thinking of purchasing this, you do need to bear that in mind, because again, it wouldn't cost DeWalt much money to stick another, you know, 1/2 meter, 3 feet onto a power cable. Lots of companies do it. I mean, it's not as short as the one I've got on my high-end die, so I'm not going to complain totally, but yeah, not great. So there are a lot of strengths to this product, and there are a lot of things that you need to consider, but overall, I'm very happy I bought it. For me, the fact of what I'm going to use it for, it's more than powerful enough. It's going to do exactly what I want it to do. So I am very pleased with it for what I need it to be. Thank you so much for watching this video, fellow woodworkers. If this is your first time at the Garage Workshop, please can I ask you to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like and comment. If you do that, the algorithm will start pushing the channel out to other people that are watching similar types of videos. And I've got lots and lots of videos now in my back catalogue. I think I'm over 160 videos, I think. Please go back on. There's lots of 10-minute tool reviews in there. Just give you a little bit of a warning, they don't last 10 minutes, and this one probably hasn't either, but there's lots in my back catalogue, so please do that. If you are a regular viewer, thank you so much for your ongoing support. Please also like and comment. I've got a really interesting video coming up next week, I think it's going to be, on a sort of replacement for a domino joiner, so please join me for that one. That's another Temu product, but that's going to be well worth a watch, that video. I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll catch you on next week's edition of the Garage Workshop. Take care, fellow woodworkers.